Every day we encounter many people without saying a word to them. Imagine being able to share the gift of joy with them, to bring a smile to their face or give them a spark of inspiration. Without saying a word, you can positively impact their life by simply wearing a humanity. Humanity also offers a unique approach to engage friends in enlightened conversation, all while exhibiting classic style. These shirts have been pre-shrunk to maintain their shape and pigment after washing. You will find this shirt is neither too light nor too heavy for your usual daily activities. Whether you're into casual lounging, active layering, or just want the softest t-shirt against your skin, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this traditional tee. To view our diverse product line, visit our website and click on the Humanity tab. Humanity, the very best in inspirational apparel.
Not cutting, but untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Empowerment. I am so glad that you have chosen to join me on this evening. You have tuned into one of the most powerful places on the planet. For this is the Emerge movement. Emerge is a movement that is centered around empowering you on your journey towards spiritual wholeness, helping you to evolve and grow and to step into the fullness of your divinity, to simply be as you are curating and creating your very best life, the abundant life that you have the opportunity to fulfill, to unlock the infinite potential that is within you so that you are able to live your best life. I am so excited and happy that you've decided to join me on tonight for this conscious conversation as we get into some things tonight that I believe are going to not only inspire, but also inform you, that are going to resonate with you and begin to empower you and give you some tools necessary to take the next steps that are ahead of you toward fulfilling your purpose and reaching your destiny. This is a great conversation for you to be a part of, as well as all of your friends, families, loved ones, co-workers, and others that you may have encountered or know or be familiar with. So I want you to take a moment right now before we get into this conversation and delve into the information that I want to share with you tonight. Take a moment and share. Every one of you that's on with me live right now, take a moment and share this broadcast on your page. Actively share it right now. Just take about 30 seconds, hit the share button and share it on your page, so that we're able to reach a larger audience and others are able to tune in tonight. My God, I feel the prophetic that's just washing over me even now. I'm trying to just hold it together so that I can get into the teaching. But I'm telling you, I'm sensing such a strong prophetic utterance and anointing that's on me right now. Go ahead and share this. Share it with as many people as you can. Tag as many people as you can in the comments to alert them that we are on so that they can come over and join us here. I have some significant information and significant word to share with those of you who are on with us tonight. Go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to actually give you a few more moments to do that. Whew. My goodness, I am going to give you a few more moments to share and to tag as many people as you can so that they can be a partaker in this conversation. It's going to be intense. I can sense it already. I feel it already. It is going to be intense. While you are in the midst of sharing and tagging, and just keep tagging, tag as many people as you can, as many as you desire, everyone you can think of that would benefit from being a part of the conversation, tag them right now. Send out a text message to them, call them real quick on the phone, tell them they need to tune in. You know, that this is not one of those that you want to just catch on the replay. You need to get it right now. You need to be involved and in place during the midst of this conversation right now. My goodness. Yeah, but do that for me right now. Listen, while you're doing that, let me just put on the screen those of you who would like to receive notification. We send out a free text notification to every person that desires it, so that you'll always know when we're getting ready to come on the air. Thank you, Lord, that you'll always know when we're getting ready to come on the air and to share. All you have to do is follow the directions that's on your screen now by texting the word emerge to 833-444-0163, and you will automatically be signed up for the free text notifications. Likewise, I'd like to encourage you to go over and visit our website. The web address is on the screen right now, as you can see, and it's also written in the description above. Just click on the link and it'll take you over to the website, so that you're able to take advantage of all the information that is there. Tonight, we're going to talk about what's next and then how to navigate this new normal. Lord of mercy. What's next? What's unfolding? What is coming? What is being revealed? What are you stepping into? What is this next stage or phase of this evolutionary leap and move forward that we are all in the midst of? All of humanity is in the throes of a shifting paradigm, an evolutionary leap, a movement forward. It has been taking place over the last 2 years now. Even before the onset of the pandemic, but the pandemic just aided and exacerbated and facilitated the necessary environment for this kind of change. And by no means am I taking away from, belittling, or demeaning the over 620,000 people who have transitioned during this pandemic, during this period of time. But there are almost a little more than 7 billion people on the planet, inhabiting the planet right now, and that the population growth of all of humanity is increasing exponentially. And even more specifically, here in the United States, there has been a real increase in the population, especially among people of color. The people of color are quickly becoming the majority in the United States, and are already the majority globally. We are a part, those of us who are of people of color, specifically African Americans, Latino, Latinx, Asian, and so on, are the global majority already. And then we are quickly becoming the majority here. But then during the pandemic, this worldwide event that has unfolded and occurred has promoted or facilitated some systemic changes and some conscious awakening throughout the planet. And I know that it's quite normal and easy, and if you're not careful, then we have a tendency to fall into only being observant or aware or conscious of what's happening in our own little circle, or in our own little world, our own society, and tend to think that everything revolves around that. But I want you tonight to zoom out and then zoom back in, but zoom out for a moment and to observe what is taking place in the global community, in all of humanity around the world, and how these periods of isolation and seclusion and separation have been a necessary part of the shifting paradigm and the evolutionary process that has taken place and is continuing to unfold in the coming days. And I can tell you already prophetically that we are that even as we have entered into what some would have labeled the fourth or fifth wave of this disease, or the pandemic, or the COVID virus, it's going to, you will see an intensifying of it over the next few coming months, but then it will begin to taper off as we start to approach the latter part of this year, beginning of the next year. And the shifting of the paradigm will just about be complete. There is a shifting of paradigm. What I mean by that, paradigm shift means that there is a change in the universal operation of mankind, the mode of operation within the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, we are undergoing and have undergone, and we are undergoing a dramatic and drastic change throughout humanity, in society, in our country, as well as in your state. And I am certain, as I am speaking, that many of you have been in the throes of dramatic change and upheaval in your own personal life, that you are experiencing a dramatic change, both physically and then mentally, as well as spiritually, your body and spirit, so body, soul, and spirit, that you are experiencing a dramatic shifting and changing that has taken place and that is continuing to take place in your life. And that if you are not careful and mindful and consciously aware, if you are not hearing from within, and also having the correct, intelligent, logical, spiritual voices speaking to you externally as well, then you can find yourself becoming discouraged and despondent and in despair about some of what looks like turmoil and tumult around you, looks like anarchy and chaos, when in fact it is a very deliberate and orchestrated and organized movement that is taking place in the universe, across the multiverse, that is affecting the progression of humanity, the progression. I know there are signs around us, indicators around us that tend to point to the digression of humanity, but it is not a digression, it is a progression. I know that might be hard to wrap your mind around, because those signs and signals seem to indicate just the opposite. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not an event or an occurrence that is that is at its genesis. This is more a revealing and awakening and a conscious awareness entering into all of the whole totality of society, of systemic issues that have existed for decades and even centuries now, as we enter into this next phase, this Aquarius phase, God, age of Aquarius, of information, insight, revelation, technology, advancement, and global shift and changing. This age, it is absolutely necessary, imperative that we became aware of some of the underlying systemic issues and current that has been a part of a hidden part of the global community, and yes, even specifically in our country, in society. And I suspect, as I am speaking now to many of you that are tuned in watching me, that you have become, during the last couple of years now, more consciously aware of issues that didn't just begin a couple of years ago, but that have existed in your lived experience, that you have been a bit unconscious of, unaware of, or that you have not really given your attention to. You have adapted, come up with systems, mindsets, behaviors, responses, and reactions to accommodate maladaptive situations, circumstances, and even relationships, just going along to get along, and been in survival mode rather than in the mode of growth and thriving. You've been more so focused on just surviving and moving forward, not wanting to rock the boat or create confusion or create what looks like chaos or even confrontation. And so you have just kind of allowed it. But during the course of these last 2 years, you have been awakened and made consciously aware, more cognizant of these things, and that you have the authority and the ability to initiate and be the catalyst for substantial change as it relates to your own life. Many of you have been under the spell or mesmerized by environment and culture, but more so religion, that painted a portrait for you of hopelessness, helplessness, that you were dependent upon all of the fixtures of a particular religious ideology to somehow miraculously, supernaturally, spontaneously change your certain circumstance and situation. And so you were given, false promises about 10 days, 21 days, 30 days to this, that, or the other. And God's going to, and this is going to, and that's going to. And when those things have not come to pass, rather than your awakening to the idea that you, and the truth that you are responsible for the advancement of your own life, you just looked for the next promise, false promise as they are, to keep feeding that victimization mindset, of waiting for someone to rescue you out of your situation and your circumstance. But during the course of these last 2 years, where you have, it has created an atmosphere, an environment that forced many of these institutions to close and to now step back and be and create a gap of separation between their supporters and its organization. Many of you have been given the space to breathe and begin to ask questions and take note of things that work and things that have not worked, and realized, come to an understanding, come to a realization that there has to be more to this whole God thing than this, that there has to be more to God than just the skip, the dance, the holler, the speak in tongues, the roll on the floor, the calisthenics and the antics that are have become such an entrenched part of the religious culture. And I need something substantial, something substantive that actually works, that I can see real growth and results and manifestation in my life. That I have come to the realization that there has to be more to God than won't he do it, won't he make a way, won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he. Y'all ain't saying nothing back to me here. But now that I am starting to recognize that my real help is within me and not something outside of me, external from me. And so as I am coming through this latter part of the process of awakening, and this awakening is an ongoing process. Please understand me that the spiritual awakening that I'm speaking of tonight is not an event. Let me say it again. This spiritual awakening is not an event, but it is a perpetual process that you will continue to experience, and you continue to experience it because, or as a result of your desire, that is your hunger and thirst, your hunger and thirst to know more, to be more, to do more, to experience more, and the now realization that there is no limitations to what you can have, do, be, or experience in this world. That truth alone has opened up, Lord have mercy, doors, conduits, windows that of opportunities to step across time and space throughout the multiverse and began to experience the divinity of God in you, through you, and as you, in ways that you had not even began to imagine prior to this journey and experience that you've had. Lord have mercy. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Are you understanding what I'm saying? I hope that you are catching what I'm saying. That as we began to understand the universality, the sovereignness, the omniousness of God, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, and omniactiveness of God, we become more consciously, or becoming more consciously aware as to how that is relative to each of us as spirits consciously aware of themselves being human, that you recognize that you are so much more than a mere Christian or a mere Buddhist or a mere Hinduist or a mere Taoist or a mere any of these other religious orders, that they are not what define you, but they are just tools that were originally developed to help you to connect or reconnect with your own divinity, the God that you are here to uniquely express and for God to experience as you. And yet you mistakenly, because of the dark grace, the dark influences of religion and society, began to take on the identity of these ideologies, these tools. And so you start to now, instead of using the hammer, you begin to identify as the hammer. Instead of using the screwdriver, you begin to identify as the screwdriver. Instead of using Christianity, you began to identify as Christian. Are you understanding what I'm saying? When in fact, it was just the tool and was never meant to be an identity, that your identity is found in your divinity. Let me say it again, that your identity is found in your divinity. I don't want to spend too much time there because I need to get into this prophetic conversation about what is next and how we navigate this new normal that is globally being established, as well as for you as an individual. Let me say that again, that you learn how to navigate, to successfully navigate and matriculate through this iteration of life under this new normal that has been established through this turbulent transition that is taking place, that has taken place in your life. And please understand this. And I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but please understand this. Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that not everyone that you know, well, you know what? I hold that because it ties into what the conversation. So let me hold that put a pin right there about the not everyone. And let me just read a text that I'm going to use as a basis for the conversation. It's in Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 5. It is about Abram before he becomes Abraham and his initial instruction about the necessary steps to take for the next phase of his life. In Genesis 12, verses 1 through 5, I'm going to read it now. It says, "And now the Lord had said unto Abram," the Lord speaks to Abram and says, "Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show you." Listen, take note that he tells Abram, I want to move you. There is a movement afoot. Lord have mercy. Can I tell you, I'm trying to just read through it, but I feel the unction to speak to some of you and say to you that you are in the midst of a movement. There is a movement afoot in your life, motion and unfolding, unveiling, of revealing, and a movement that is taking place in your life. And you can either move with the flow, or you can move kicking and screaming, fighting against the current and the flow. But that current, that flow, that movement is going to move you. How quickly you move from point A to point B, how quickly you transition, how quickly you make that next, you step into that next phase is dependent solely upon whether you choose to come into agreement with the Spirit of God's movement, or whether you decide to resist and you still move, but at a slower pace because of your resistance. Resistance does not mean that you are able to reverse or stop it. It simply means that you slow the pace of it, but ultimately the outcome has been determined. The movement, the destination has been predestined. Lord have mercy. Let me say it again. That the destination has been predestined. And so whether you decide to move with the current or fight against the current is completely your choice, but the end is still the same. The outcome has been settled. Lord have mercy. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? And so listen to what he says. He says, I want you in this movement, he says to Abram, get out from your country, get away from your kindred and out of your father's house, and then go to a land. Listen to what he says, not that I have shown you, but that I will show you. He does not even give him the benefit of saying, this is where you're going. He simply says, go. And when you get to the spot, I'll tell you. I'll tell you along the way. I'll reveal it as you go. I'll unfold it as you move. Are you understanding? You will begin to see it, to comprehend it, to understand it. Lord have mercy, Jesus, as you move. Let me keep reading. I'm trying to hold it together here. And he says, and I will make of you, Abram, God says, I'm going to make of you a great nation. That now you're talking about generational change that you, as the catalyst for, now began to send out a wave, a vibrational wave that now travels through generations that are to come, that are intertwined and connected to you. He says, I'm going to make out of you nations, watch this, great nations, and I will bless. The word bless there in the Hebrew literally means I will empower you. Lord have mercy. Listen to this. I will empower and endow you. So he says, as you move into this next phase of this next iteration of your unique experience in this three-dimensional form, I'm going to empower and endow you. I'm going to, yes, rub on you, anoint you. I'm going to empower you. Listen to this. And I'm going to make your name great. That's legacy. And you will not only be blessed, but you will also be a blessing. You will not only be empowered and endowed, but you will be positionally now in a place to empower and endow others. Lord have mercy. Are you hearing what I'm saying? He says, and then I will bless, empower, and endow those that bless you, and I will curse those that curse you. Now, please understand the anthropomorphic terminology that's being used here. It is not about God cursing or damning or destroying or avenging. He is speaking in terms of universal laws like cause and effect, sowing and reaping, so that it's not that God is cursing as much as it is that the laws that govern the universe are in operation. And so when people curse you, however they act toward you, they establish now by a law that they have to reap what they have sown. Oh God, have mercy. They have to now deal with the effect of the seeds of causation. Listen to what he says. And he says, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. He says that what I'm getting ready to do in you, through you, and as you is not only going to have an effect on your generation bloodline that follows you, but it will multiply and have a ripple effect in all of the earth. Let me keep going. I'm almost through. And so Abram departed. He did as the Lord spoke to him. He obeyed the voice, the intuitive voice of God from within him. And he took Lot with him, his nephew. And the scripture says specifically that at the time of this instruction, Abram was 75 years old. He was 75, well on in age. Yet he continued to obey that inner voice, recognizing that time is an illusion. Lord, that he is not bound by chronological time. He is only bound by what is being spoken to him by the intuitive voice of God from within. And that if God has given an instruction, then time has to align itself with the instruction that's given. Y'all didn't catch what I just said. That time does not work against you. Time is submitted to you and must support what the instruction is that has been given you. Time lengthens itself, broadens itself to make room for the instruction that you intuitively have received from Spirit. Lord have mercy. There's so much in this, but I gotta keep going. Listen, he says, and when he departed out of Haran, and Abram took Sarah and Lot, his brother's son, his nephew, and all the substance they had gathered, and all the souls they had gotten in Haran. That means all of those who were a part of his entourage, who were a part of his family, he says, and they went forth into the land of Canaan. Into the land of Canaan they came. Okay, all right. I made it through. God have mercy. I made it through the text. Let me see how much further I can get into this particular utterance tonight. As I said, these last 2 years have been a time of great evolutionary change, a shifting. There's been a changing of the guard, if you will. There has been an opening of doors, windows, and portals, an awakening, a collective awakening of consciousness globally around the world. But I need to speak to some of you that are watching me tonight that have tuned in. You are not here by accident. You are not here by coincidence. You didn't just happen to tune in because you like me or you are familiar with me. You are here by divine destiny. You are here by divine appointment because I'm speaking directly to those of you that are watching me tonight, as well as those who may listen on the replay. But more specifically, I am talking to those of you that are on with me right now, and I'm encouraging you to, even again, if you haven't, go ahead and share and tag others, because as many as can be a part of this, they need to get here and get here fast. As I began to release prophetically from the belly of God, hallelujah. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. So yeah, just listen to what I'm saying. I want to speak to you because many of you, most of you that are watching right now have been experiencing, especially since the end of last year, the beginning of this year, over these last now 8-9 months, you've been experiencing a real uneasiness, a restlessness at your soul level. It's like you are the same routine and actions and behavior and familiar places that you have been connected with, around, repeating, that have been repetitive and cyclical in your life. You've become uneasy and uncomfortable with them. It's like you can sense something down inside of you, that something big is happening, something big is emerging, some drastic change is about to take place. Some of you feel it so intensely that it almost scares you, because I'm not even sure, is it good or bad? It's just something that is stirring deep within me, that I feel things don't feel the same. They don't feel right, if you will, whatever right happens to be. Right. They don't feel right. They feel different. They feel strange. I'm in the same place, meeting the same people, having some of the same conversations and encounters, going to the same job, living in the same house, driving the same car, completing my routine, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel comfortable. It feels like something is shifting and moving. It feels like there's a dramatic and drastic change that's about to take place. And I'm here to tell you, you are not crazy. You are not losing your mind. There is nothing wrong with you. You are sensing what your spirit already knows. Let me say it again. You are sensing at the soul level what your spirit already knows. It is your knowing that has now penetrated the consciousness of your soul, and your soul is becoming aware or awakening to what your spirit has already known. Your spirit knows what your soul is still trying to comprehend and translate for your mind. Your mind has no clue. It just has an inkling, but it's waiting for your conscious soul to translate the sensation, this unctioning feeling that you are getting at your gut. Let me use that term. There's one you really fully can understand. That gut feeling that you have been having in the pit of your stomach, that gut feeling that you are waking up in the middle of the night at 2 and 3 in the morning, feeling like something is off, something is changing, something is different, something feels strange. It's like, what's going on with me? And having thoughts that you hadn't had before, and dreams that you hadn't had before, and experiencing and things that you haven't experienced before. And many of you that are watching me now have begun to get glimpses of things. Lord have mercy. Visionary glimpses of things and people that are not human form, yet you are seeing and sensing them moving around your house, riding in your car. Lord have mercy. Okay, all right. Yeah, you sense them moving around you, a presence of them. Yes, glory to God, hallelujah, and seeing glimpses, or what some would call premonitions of things, and what others have labeled as deja vu, what you have experienced in times past sporadically, now has become a regular occurrence. It's like you're experiencing deja vu almost every other day. It's like I've been here. I've seen this. I saw this. I felt this. And even some of you, I'm talking to you, Bree, that can have been here lately, hearing conversations. Hearing conversations by people that are not around you, but it's about you. Whew. Hey, and hearing that conversation, and then encountering them and being able to sense a different vibe or vibration being emitted from them, even though they wear the same smile or seem to carry on the same, conversation in person that they have been, but you've heard something. Job says, a thing was brought to me privately, and my ear heard a little thereof. Yes, glory. And that's what you and others have been experiencing happening. It is that discomfort that you are feeling with your regular routine. I'm back to talking to all of you universally now, being pulled, if you will, feeling there is a demand being placed on you by situations and circumstances and relationships that you hadn't felt before, because you are being shoved, pushed, if you will, transitioned into a different place and space so that you can have a unique experience and you can take this next step in your evolutionary process. It's almost like a new birth. Yeah, there's the term. There's the term. It's like a new Bianca. I'm talking to you. It's like a new birth. It's like a new birth. You have a completely different outlook on life and experiences and connections and relationships and people. Some of people that have known you or felt they knew you for a while are like, you are changing and you acting funny and what's really going on with you, but they don't understand the evolutionary process that you are in right now, glory. Hallelujah. It's like like you have been born again. I'm not talking about the religious born again thing where you confess and shout and all that. I'm talking about that your whole perception and outlook, it has shifted, taken a dramatic shifting. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yeah, I see you. I see your comments, Bianca. I see your comments as well, Brie. I see your comments, Stephanie. I see you. I see you. And I'm telling you that this is not abnormal. This is a part of the process that you are moving and transitioning and matriculating through as you step into what will become your new normal. Glory to God. New normal. Because normal is just that which you have become familiar with, and that is repetitive in your life. And I'm telling you that old doors are closing as new doors are opening. Old windows are closing as new windows are opening. Old portals are closing as new portals are opening, and you are stepping into this newness, and you are now having to, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, learn how to navigate this new normal, the awakening of gifts, Lord have mercy, within you that you weren't even consciously aware was in you, and now they're being awakened. Gifts, talents, abilities, and skills that you weren't even aware were in you are now being awakened. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you tonight? That they are being awakened within you, and you are discovering that you have a knack, a proclivity, an inclination toward things that you were not even consciously aware that you had before, and they are now being made plain to you because the circumstances around you have put a demand on you to awaken those gifts that are within you. I don't even know. I have to look back through the comments to see whether Yvette is on here. But Yvette, if you're on here, let me know you're here, because what I'm saying now specifically applies to you, that there are gifts and abilities, talents and skills within you that you have not been fully conscious or cognizant of. There are some that you've been desirous of and said, I wish I could. And I hear the Spirit of the Lord saying to tell you, don't wish you could, because you can. Oh, God, Lord, I don't know if Yvette's even on here. Diana, I know you're on here. So if she's not, then you can get the word to her that don't wish you could, because you can. You can stop wishing you could. The Spirit of God is saying you can. That wish is a reflection and indicator of the ability within you to be able to do. And so you no longer have to operate from the wish and I wish I could, and I wish I had the ability, the talent. You can. All you have to do is be willing to take the courageous step to step into the unfamiliar and put forth the effort, and God will match your effort with excellence. Lord, I hear that. I hear God saying He's going to match your effort with excellence. I see you now, Yvette. I see you. Good. So hopefully you heard everything that I was saying, that God's matching your effort with excellence. Uh, Please understand me, ladies and gentlemen, that change is the inevitable consequence of our being. Change is inevitable, but what is changing is not what you think. It is not the world, nature, and universe around you that is changing, but it is you at your core, at your soul, cellular level that is evolving and changing. And as a result, your perception of the world around you changes to fit your now awareness, consciousness, and so your perception is now shaping a new reality for you. So the universe presents itself to you as a reflection of your inner world of thought and feeling. Are you understand? Are y'all catching what I'm saying? And so in this moment, I heard the Spirit of God say to me as I was preparing and sitting in the studio, preparing to come and have this conversation with you, the Spirit of God began to say to me that this change is multi-level, a total change and total evolution of both body, soul, and spirit, of your mentality, your mental faculty, yes, of your physical as well as your spiritual. I wrote some things down. Let me tell you. In this moment in time, the Spirit said, it is time for each of you to begin to reevaluate and relocate. You understand that in the text, God says to Abram, he would become Abraham. He says to Abram, before I change your name, you need to change your mind. Let me say that again. That before I change your name, your identity, before I pull back the cover on this next revelation layer of who you are, you need to change your mind. You need to reevaluate and relocate. Let me say it to you, those of you who are watching me right now, before you step into what's next, and there is a huge next that is approaching you, that is imminent, that is at the door, that you are in the midst and the throes of, that before you can step fully into your next and understand the identity that you take on for that place and space in time, you have got to, Lord have mercy, reevaluate and relocate. Reevaluate mentally, physically, and spiritually. Mentally, that not just what you think, but how you think. Let me say that again, that you have to reevaluate and then relocate how, not just what you think, and that's important, but also how you think, because how you think is what produced what you think. Let me say that again, because how you think is what gave birth to what you think. And so what you have to now embrace is a new way, a new format, got a new method or process of thinking, critical thinking. Understand that you are acting, moving, and behaving most like God when you are thinking. God is divine mind, the ultimate knowledge. Lord have mercy. And when you begin to think critically, the process of thinking, takes on a different form or operation, then it produces different results. And so what you believe, is produced with how you think. What you think is produced by how you think. And so you've got to now begin to wrap your mind around taking on this new process of thinking. The greatest danger in this turbulent time is not the turbulence itself. It is trying to think and to speak and to act with old logic. God Almighty, what I just said right there. The greatest danger in this turbulent, chaotic, seemingly chaotic and out of control time is not the turbulence itself. It is your trying to think, trying to reason, trying to speak and act with an old, antiquated logic that no longer applies to who you are and where you are and where you are going. You cannot take this new wine and put it in old bottles. You cannot take an old mind into a new experience. God have mercy out there. Oh, Jesus. I am telling you, you have got to shift in your mentality. Be transformed by the anakinosis, the renewing of your mind, by elevating your consciousness, raising your vibration, and looking through a different, clearer, purer, more intelligent, brilliant lens, so that your view is broadened and expanded. Do away with the blinders of culture, environment, family, religion, trauma, and open your eyes to the broad possibilities of an ever expanding universe and a multiverse that you have yet to know, experience, or see. That you have got to be willing to expand your conscious mind. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not matter how much you speak in tongues, quicken, quake, shake, holler, buck, dance, spit, and jump over pews, spit bubbles, roll on the ground, mess up your clothes, get oil baths poured on your head. What matters the most is your expanding your consciousness, your mind, so that you can begin to see the breadth, the width, the length, and the depth of what God is revealing in you, through you, and as you. And ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, that it will not align itself with the old knowledge and the old logic, and it will not be readily embraced by those who knew the former you. But it will be antithetical to that which you have known or been comfortable and common with, and it will even create some tension with those who think they have known you and have not progressed enough to understand that you are yet becoming while you are being. Let me say it again. it will agitate and create some tension with those who have not yet understood that you are not who you were, but that you are becoming as you are being. Yesha. Woo! Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Let me keep going. Physically, that there has to be a reevaluation and relocation physically. What do I mean? I mean physically as it relates to your career, your home, your present location, your relationships. Yes, all of them are subject to transition, change, and evolution. Lord, listen, let me tell you this, that some of you that I'm talking to right now are living in locations right now that you have felt the unction, the urgency, the demand, the pulling to move on. It's time for you to go. You don't even feel at home there anymore. Don't feel comfortable anymore. Don't feel like you have any more to offer there, nothing else to give there. And yet you stay there because it offers you a certain amount of a security. And when God begins to speak intuitively to Abram, he says, not only do I want you to get out from your kindred and from those that you are familiar with, but he said, I need you to leave your father's house. His father's house represents a place of security. It's a foundational place. It's a place of security and safety. And he says to him, I don't want you to find your security in a place. I want you to find your security in God, in the God that is within you, through you, and as you, that I am secure and safe in the God that is within me, that I am not, my security is not tethered and tied to a particular location or place or job or career or relationship. Y'all not hearing me, but my security is tethered and tied to my divinity. Let me say it again. My security is tied to my divinity. Not a place, not a person, not a thing, but it's tied to my divinity. What is God saying for the moment? What is he saying for me right at this moment? And I'm telling you, the longer that you try and remain in the situation, the circumstance, the relationship, the career, the place, that location, the longer you try and stay there and fight and kick against the prick and wrestle against the unctioning and the leading and the demand and the pull that's happening in your spirit, you're going to begin to experience anxiety, frustration, misery, and you will be just completely frustrated and agitated, finding yourself getting upset quickly and snapping at people that you normally wouldn't, and about things that you normally wouldn't, because it's not because they are an adjutant. It's because you are in the wrong place. Lord, have mercy up in here. That it's time for you to relocate. That you are still trying to make sure I hold on to this career as my security while I am trying to launch this business, this work that I hear God telling me to do. And I'm putting my confidence in the security of my 9 to 5 rather than in the security of what has been spoken within me. Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? And so you got to be willing to step outside of what's familiar, what's comfortable, what is safe. Oh, God have mercy. What is safe, so that you can never get miracles in the place of safety. What I said just then, I'll say it again. I'll say it again. You will never get miracles in the place of safety. You get miracle manifestation when you are willing to take the leap, take the risk, take the walk by faith, and step forward and follow the still small voice that intuitively speaks from within you. So if you're not willing to risk the unusual, then you'll always have to settle for the ordinary. Oh, goodness, that's good. I ain't got time to write it and put it on the screen, but I'm going to say it again. You need to write that one down. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, then you will end up settling for the ordinary. Did you hear what I just said? Woo! If you're not willing to risk the unusual, then you will have to settle for the ordinary. Okay, so reevaluate, relocate mentally, physically, and spiritually. Third level. Your spiritual life needs to be reevaluated so that you can relocate it. What am I saying by that? I'm saying that what you believe and why you believe it, there is deeper depths than where you are right now. So you have to be willing to ask questions, get answers, and then question the answers. You have to be mindful of what you are feeding your spirit and what you are allowing others to feed your spirit. Y'all not hearing me? You are not tied or tethered to a particular religious ideology or organization or church because your grandmama went there and your granddaddy went there, or you were raised this way or you were raised that way. And I was Baptist born, Baptist bred, and when I'm gone, I'm a Baptist dead. You being silly. You already know you're no longer being fed. You done heard that Daniel in the lion's den 3 Hebrew boys so many times you can recite it right along with them. You know the prayer the deacon gonna pray before he even prayed. You know what these prophets are gonna say before they even say God getting ready to do something, turning it around. You know it before you even get to the service. You already know what's getting ready to come down the pipe. You know when you tune into their lives and their broadcast. I see God getting ready to do some things. He's getting ready to take you higher, getting ready to give you this, getting ready to give you. You already know. And there's a point where you gotta get sick and tired of it and say, you know what? I have graduated. That's okay for the babies who still need that milk and pablum, but I'm graduating to something greater. There's got to be more to God than what I've already seen and experienced. There's got to be more to this spiritual walk than a huckabuck. There's got to be more than a book, than a religion, than an order. There's got to be more to God than an ideology. Oh, God have mercy, a dogma or a legalism. There has got to be more, and I am willing to open my mind, expand my consciousness to consider the possibilities of the deeper depths and the higher heights, the expansive knowing of God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? One of my favorite quotes by Tillich says, the man that knows God does not outgrow God, but God causes him to outgrow his immature views of God. Thus, God remains God while changing in the mind of the growing person. In other words, he's saying essentially that learning and becoming consciously aware of the isness and the expansiveness of God is an ongoing, lifelong process. And it's not that God is changing, but but my perception and view of God changes as I am willing to open my mind and consider larger, broader, expansive concepts. And I am not bound to a book, and I am not bound to a religion, and I'm not bound to a dogma, and I'm not bound to a legalism, I'm not bound to a culture, and I'm not bound to an environment, but I am understanding that God is expansive in me, through me, and as me. And when I open myself to it, then that knowledge, that insight, that knowing can emerge within me and begin to penetrate the corners, crevices, and cracks of my conscious mind, making me fully aware of the expansiveness of the divine. If I hear one more hoop, holler, and scream about the same old gobbledygook and paddling, enough. Are y'all hearing me? Enough. Enough. Hey. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Expansive, growing, unfolding, revealing. And so it's time to reevaluate and relocate spiritually. That you are not in the same place now that you were last year this time, 6 months ago this time, 3 months ago this time, that you have moved on. Your understanding of God and therefore an understanding of yourself is evolving and growing and becoming and expanding, that I am ready now to begin to understand that I am a divine expression, uniquely experiencing itself in the earth. I've said this to you before. The thing that the soul resists more than anything else is limitations. And when you place limitations on your soul, it is an abnormality. It is a malfunctioning. It is like trying to put a harness, oh God, on eternity, trying to harness infinity. You cannot harness the infinite. Your soul desires to have all of these different, unique, exciting experiences. And it's just waiting for you to say yes. 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 To give your soul an unconditional yes. And trust your spirit as it guides your soul into every experience. Entering it with the mind, the perception that it has come to serve me, teach me, better me, expand me. And say yes to it. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Ooh, y'all know I don't normally. But I told you, I sense there is such a strong sensation. This is what is next. Your next is dependent on what you do now. Your next is dependent on what you do now. And you can either jump in and swim with the current, or you can go kicking and screaming. But either way, you're going to move along this path. You're going to move along in this process. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? You're a catalyst. Where's, I know you're on here, Theresa Winston. I know you're on here. I just have to comment again so I can see you. But I know you're on because you never miss. You never miss. So I know you're on here. Oh, Sabah, Siandele Boso. Theresa Winston. I know you're on here. I know you're on here. Just comment real quick, just to confirm that there you are. I see you. I that's what I was waiting on. Let me speak specifically to you. Let me speak specifically to you, because what is in front of you, unfolding in front of you, is, what's the word? It is a confirmation and a reassurance of promises that were made years ago about visions and dreams that you've had about your life and your impact and what you would do locally, nationally, and globally. And what you have stepped into in this moment is a time warp where all of those things are being brought back to you, along with the opportunity for the resources to match the vision and the dream. You just got to have the courage to leap. You just got to have the courage to leap. Give your analytical mind a little bit of a rest. That part that wants to figure it out and how it's going to work and make out your list, and just leap. And when you put your foot down, the resources are going to be there. You have yet to see the fullness of the impact that you have had, are having, and will have. Rasabose. Are you hearing me? Okay. I gotta go. It's way over time. I'm way over time. You know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna just tell you, I don't even care. So if you got to turn off, you got to tune out. I understand. You got work in the morning, got other things you got to do. I understand. You can come back on the replay or whatever. But I got it. I'm just gonna keep following through. I saw Rachel on here. Is it Rachel? I know the last name is Bynum. I know that. I don't know if the first name is Rachel or Rochelle. I may be butchering how you pronounce it, but I know the last name is Bynum. Comment. There you go. I see you. I see you. I see you. God sees you. You know that already. In you. You cannot be silent. Let me say it again. You cannot be silent. Too much has been invested in you. Too much has been given to you, and to whom much is given, much is required. And you can no longer be silent about what you know, what you understand. You've got to begin to open your mouth and speak it, despite what you think the cost may be, despite the backlash that will come. You have got to begin to speak and declare this unfolding revelatory truth that you have been introduced to, and now begins to flood your mind. It's like the more you come to know, the more questions come up, and that's absolutely as it should be. You're supposed to question everything. And you keep asking the questions, and the answers are going to keep emerging within you. And people like myself and others who you are connected to will be there to just confirm what you are already consciously aware of. But it is not coming up just for your own benefit. It is coming up in you so that you can open your mouth and begin to have an exponential impact on those that are influenced by you. And you have a lot more influence than what you recognize. There are a lot of people that look to you, listen to you, talk to you, that follow what you say, that are influenced by your movements, by your actions. And so you can't hold back and be quiet because you're afraid of offending. Speak it. Bring light. You're the light of the world. City that sit on a hill that cannot be hid. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Rachel, Rochelle, I hope I'm saying, I don't know about the first part of how I'm saying your name, but Bynum, I know you know I'm talking to you. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? You got to open your mouth. Mm. And there is a lady in particular that you've been real hesitant to say anything to. She's around you a lot. You talk to her a lot, but you've been real hesitant because she still has a lot of old traditional thoughts and ways about her, and you've been very hesitant about saying anything. But she's not a part of your life for no reason. She's there so that you can shed light, so that you can begin to awaken. You gotta open your mouth. Woo! Woo! Hallelujah. That's it. Everything flows from your mouth. God Almighty, I heard that. Everything flows from your mouth. As you speak, everything else starts to unfold and come together. Ooh, I heard bone now. At bone to bone, bone to bone. I know that comes from Ezekiel 37, bone to bone, assembling and constructing the things that you need and that are necessary, not that you need, that you seek, that you desire, because you don't have need, want, or lack, or scarcity. You have things that you desire, that you are seeking, and bone to bone will come together and connect, and without you even having to put a whole lot of time and effort in it, because as you flow from your mouth, it'll activate those things, and all those things begin to come together. Even in the area of your health will spring forth speedily as you open your mouth. Whew. Okay. Woo. 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 I need everybody who's on here to put in the comments, my next begins now. Just write it. My next begins now. My next begins now. My next begins now. Put it in the comments. Every one of you. Everybody that's on here. All 25 of you on here? My next begins now. Write it. It's your declaration. My next begins now. Hey. Yes. Right now. Right now. Right now. My next begins now. Speak it, declare it, hold it in your mind, hold it in your vision, hold it in your thoughts, act on it, step out, and watch it unfold. Watch it begin to unfold. My next begins now. You hear me, Jamie? Where you at, Jamie Meredith? I know I saw your name on here. Yeah, I see you up there. My next begins now, Jamie. Your next begins now. Jamie, happiness is a choice. Let me say that again to you, darling. Happiness is a choice. You got to decide to be happy and then think, do, and say the things that make you, that support your happiness, regardless to whether they make others happy or not. You are so concerned about everybody else's happiness but yours. You cannot be the progenitor of their happiness. You have to be the progenitor of your own happiness. And so you are so focused on making and providing an environment that makes them happy that is making you miserable. Because that was never your responsibility in the first place. It was never your responsibility in the first place. It's not. It's not. You're responsible for your happiness. And yes, some of the decisions and choices that support your happiness are going to cause others to be upset, angry, aggravated, sad, brokenhearted, frustrated, whatever. That's not your issue. That's theirs. Yours is to do what supports your happiness. Are you hearing what I'm saying? To support your happiness. And Van Pickett, I know you're on here as well. I saw your name go up. I want you to understand and know this. This is what I feel the unction of the Holy Spirit saying is that you need to recognize just how valuable, how special, how great, how brilliant, how intelligent, how absolutely wonderful and fearfully you are made. You are all that and a bag of chips. Quit selling yourself short. Quit thinking that you're less than. Release all of those old traumas that have gendered low self-esteem and feeling unworthy and feeling like you are less than and don't have enough and you're not that. Release it all right now. I'm setting myself in agreement with you for you to be free from it, for you to free yourself. I cannot free you. You have to decide to free yourself from it, but I can join my energy with yours in support of your liberty and freedom and full embrace of your brilliance, of your creativity, of your greatness, of your beauty, of your wonder, of your greatness that is within you and how creative you are. You are one extremely creative individual, but you keep it trapped in your mind and don't give it a channel to come into this three-dimensional world. But I'm here to tell you, you've got to create channels. You've got to create doors and streams for that creativity to flow out. And there is absolutely no such thing as a crazy, stupid, or dumb idea. Your ideas have meaning, purpose, and value. You simply have to think them through, follow through with them, and create a channel for them to flow into this three-dimensional. Because part of your prosperity, part of your revenue stream is tied to your creativity. Woo! Are you hearing me? Oh, I see you. There you are. Wait a minute. I think that's you. Hold on. Put my eyes on. Yes. Yes. That's you. Okay? Part of part of your revenue stream is tied to your own creativity. You've got ideas and concepts inside of you that can generate millions of dollars. If you stop downplaying them and treating them like they're nothing. Stop. That's old stuff. That's childhood stuff. Release yourself from all of that foolishness, all of that childhood trauma, all of those negative words spoken over your life and continuously hammered into your head until you begin to identify with them. They do not define you. You're none of that. And keep your heart pure, because this is not about proving anything to anybody. It's about doing what is best for you. You don't let your motivation be to prove something to anybody else. You don't need to prove anything to them, because here's the thing: if their heart is set to believe a certain way about you, I don't care if you go out and conquer the world and cure cancer. It's not going to change the way they think about you. So that's not your motivation. This is about you. It's all you. Your own divinity, your own greatness, your brilliance, your value and your worth. Very few people really see you because you keep yourself so concealed and hidden, almost like a chameleon. And so very few people really see you. I'm not talking about visually see your anatomical shape. I'm talking about see you, the real you, because you keep it hidden and behind those doors. But it's time for this is your bar mitzvah. It's your coming out. So say my nana Moshe. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I gotta quit. It's man. It's going on 10 o'clock. Your next is right now. Your next is now. Do y'all hear me? Your next is now. Woo! It's now. It's now. It's now. All right. Listen, I didn't even get through everything that I wanted to touch on tonight. Maybe I'll pick it up tomorrow night. You know what? I will pick it up tomorrow night. Ain't there'll be no maybe in it. I'm going to come back on tomorrow night at the same time, 8 o'clock. Meet me back here at 8 o'clock. I'm going to give you some tools to manage this movement. Tools to manage this motion, this movement, this unfolding, this unveiling, this transition. And I'm going to speak prophetically into your lives again tomorrow night. Meet me back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. sharp. I'm going to finish it. Great day. Okay, I got to stop, man. I got to stop. Meet me here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And I'm going to go further. I'm going to finish it. Meet me here tomorrow night. And we'll pick up right where we left off. All right, it's time to sow. Your time, your honor, your privilege, your opportunity to be able to sow, to make the exchange. Those of you who have received tonight bountifully, it is only right that you sow bountifully as well. And so I want to give you that opportunity. Let me put it on the screen. There you are. every single one of you that have received tonight, prophetically, through the preaching, through the teaching, through this word. You've been empowered. You've been blessed. Make the exchange, create a current, create a flow, enact the law of sowing and reaping, of currency, of circulation, cause and effect, and enact these laws in your life. The law of giving and receiving. Take advantage of this opportunity to give. Use any of the means that you see on your screen. Those of you who have partnered with the Emerge movement, I need you to be consistent and be faithful in your tithing, in your giving. Make sure that you do that as we expand and grow this platform. I need you to continue to do that. Continue to do that. Do it now. Take a moment and do it now before we go off the air. Do it now. You can use Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. Do it now. And no, I'm not compelling, and I'm not, I don't have any gimmicks and games and all this, and God gonna bless you with this, that, and the other if you do that. No, you give because it's a right, it's a privilege, it's an honor to be able to give. It's more blessed to give than it is to receive. We understand the laws of the kingdom. We understand that generosity is our nature, and that the way that we create new revenue streams is through giving. So go ahead and take a moment and do it right now while we're on the air before we go off. Send your offering, send your seed, send your tithe. Do it now. Every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., I'll be right back here. We're going to finish this. I know it's kind of hard to do that, but invite friends to come and join us in the conversation tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Tag as many people as you can. I'll create a flyer and put it up so you can tag other people in that as well. But as many as we can, let's build the audience and get as many people in here to hear this revelatory message and word. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow night. You have an absolutely fantastic night and make tomorrow the best day ever.
Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to catch us every Sunday at 7 p.m. for empowerment.
That we are a unique expression.
Every Thursday at 7 p.m. for momentum.
The creation of God and the God who created him.
Once again, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. And we'll see you next time.